This dog isn't loyal, and that's why he's reliable. Most people think loyalty looks like attachment. A loyal dog sticks close. A loyal dog follows you everywhere. A loyal dog watches your every move and reacts when you react. That's what we're taught. So when people see this dog not following me, not staying glued to my side, not reacting every time I move, they assume something is wrong. They think he doesn't care. They think he's distant. They think he's disloyal. But that assumption comes from a pet mindset, not a working one. Because this dog isn't loyal to me, he's loyal to a responsibility. And that's exactly why he's reliable. Loyalty is one of the most misunderstood traits in dogs. Most people define loyalty as emotional attachment, closeness, affection, dependence. But emotional attachment is fragile. It changes with mood. It breaks under stress, and it disappears when the person isn't present. That kind of loyalty only works when the owner is always there. This dog was never meant for that. Livestock guardian dogs weren't bred to protect people's feelings, presence, or ego. They were bred to protect something that exists whether a human is standing there or not. Animals don't follow you. Livestock doesn't move with you. The job doesn't leave just because you do. So loyalty couldn't be built around attachment to a person. It had to be built around commitment to a task. That's a completely different kind of loyalty. This dog doesn't follow me because following me would pull him away from what matters. He doesn't check in constantly because constant reassurance creates hesitation. He doesn't wait for permission because permission isn't always available. If a guardian dog waited for a human to tell him what to do, animals would die. So independence wasn't a flaw. It was a requirement. When people say, he doesn't seem loyal, what they really mean is, he doesn't seek me. But seeking a human isn't loyalty. It's dependency. And dependency breaks the moment the human is gone. When this dog stays where he's needed, that's loyalty. He positions himself deliberately. He chooses where to lie. He watches without reacting. He ignores what doesn't matter, not because he's indifferent, but because he's committed. A dog that follows you everywhere looks loyal. But ask yourself this: what happens when you leave? Does the dog follow the job or follow comfort? This dog follows the job, every time. People often confuse obedience with loyalty. They think a dog that responds instantly is more devoted. But instant obedience often comes from uncertainty, not trust. A dog that waits before acting is usually more confident, not less, because confidence doesn't rush. This dog doesn't need to prove anything. He doesn't need validation. He doesn't need praise. He doesn't need reassurance. He already knows what matters, and that makes him reliable when no one is watching. There are moments on this farm where something feels off before I can even explain it. A sound, a shift, a pattern that doesn't belong. And instead of responding to me, this dog plants himself exactly where he needs to be. If I forced obedience in those moments, if I demanded attention, if I prioritized emotional loyalty over functional loyalty, I would break the very instincts that make him trustworthy. This is why so many guardian dogs fail, not because they're aggressive, not because they're lazy, but because they're misunderstood. They're placed with people who expect emotional attachment instead of responsibility. When the dog doesn't perform loyalty the way people expect, they try to fix it. They push obedience. They push engagement. They push closeness. And slowly, the dog loses judgment. You can train commands into a guardian dog, but you can also train the decision-making out of him if you're not careful. And once that judgment is gone, reliability goes with it. Experienced livestock owners don't look for dogs that stick close. They look for dogs that stay put. They value dogs that don't demand attention, dogs that don't chase validation, Dogs that don't react to everything, because reacting to everything is exhausting. Filtering is what keeps a dog effective. This dog isn't loyal in a way that flatters humans. He won't follow me around to make me feel important. He won't abandon his post for affection. He won't choose comfort over responsibility. And that's exactly why I trust him. Loyalty to a person feels good. Loyalty to a responsibility keeps things alive. And in serious environments, survival matters more than sentiment. If you want a dog that performs on command, that mirrors your emotions, that seeks approval, this isn't the breed. But if you want a dog that makes decisions correctly when you're not there, that stays calm under pressure, that doesn't need supervision to do the right thing, this dog is unmatched. The most reliable dogs aren't the ones that look devoted. They're the ones that don't need to be. They don't follow for reassurance. They don't react for attention. They don't move unless it matters. So no, this dog isn't loyal, at least not in the way most people define it. He's loyal to something bigger than me. And that's exactly why I trust him with everything that matters. Because loyalty to responsibility doesn't disappear when no one is watching. And that kind of loyalty is the only kind that actually holds.